Hi everyone, today I wanted to talk about moon in the first house. This is part of the moon sign series. It's a new series that I'm starting on my channel where I talk about your moon sign in each of the houses of the zodiac wheel. So when you draw up your birth chart, you basically get the zodiac wheel where you have all your different planets, which signs they are in, which houses they are in. So that's what I'm focusing on today. It does not matter what zodiac sign your moon sign is. So you could be an Aries moon, you could be a Cancer moon, you could be a Taurus moon or any other moon sign. This mainly has to do with the fact that your moon is in the first house of the zodiac wheel. So what is the moon? The moon sign in your birth chart, the moon represents your subconscious mind. It represents your emotions, which are such an important part of your psyche, of your mind, the way you think, the way you feel emotions, and the way you process emotions. That is all your moon sign. The moon sign is usually a very private part of ourselves. It's not something that we show to the world that easily, unlike the sun sign or the rising sign, which is what people generally come across when we are in social settings. The moon sign is a more reticent part of ourselves. So we usually reveal our moon sign characteristics to our friends, like our close friends, our family, people who've known us for a long time. They are the ones who usually get to see like the moon sign aspect of ourselves. Now, the first house, talking about the first house is pretty much what people see when they meet you for the first time. It is also the house of self. So, it is the way you express yourself. What is your most authentic expression of yourself? How you come across to the world. So, somebody could have their sun sign in a very different zodiac sign, but their first house could be a completely different sign. So, in that case, what they appear to be to the world would be very different from who they are at a very core level. That's just one example I'm giving. So the first house is the house of self. So it is how you communicate. I mean, not just communicate in terms of words. It's about how you come across to the world and how you express your core authentic self. So the first house is, I always call it like the display house. So it's very difficult to hide in the first house because it's all on display. Who you are is all on display. And when you have your moon, which is such a personal planet, which is supposed to be like your deep emotions, your subconscious mind, things that you don't generally reveal to the general public. It's a very personal side of yourself. When you have a planet like that, like the moon sign, which is also very sensitive, right? Like the moon is very sensitive to emotions. I mean, so when you have the moon in your first house, your emotions, because the moon is emotions, your emotions are going to be on display pretty much most of the time. So you could have a moon sign, let's say in Capricorn, or an earth sign, right, which is known to not be very expressive with their emotions. Earth signs are not. They feel everything, obviously. Everybody has emotions, but they are very practical and logical about things, so they don't usually express their emotions that readily, unlike a water moon sign, which would be more pliable in the way they express emotions. So when you have, let's say, so you could have an earth moon sign, right? Like you could have a Capricorn moon, which is known to be very stoic and, face the burden of the world and shoulder all the responsibilities, very mature, responsible energy. But if you have it in the first house, it's going to make you someone where your emotions are on display. So people can read your face, people can discover what emotions you are feeling because it's all going to be visible on your facial expressions. And it's going to be difficult for you to hide this. So for example, if you are a very private person in general, like if you're a bit of an introvert, if you don't really like displaying your feelings, all that, and you're very reserved, if you're that kind of person, then having your moon in the first house may pose a bit of a challenge because like I said, your emotions are going to be all on display. So people may be able to read you quite easily because, again, like I said, the first house is what people see when they meet you for the first time. Um, and you have such a personal planet out there right in the first house, so hiding your emotions is going to be a bit difficult. But the advantage of having the moon in the first house is because since the first house is the house of self, it's the way you express yourself authentically. Having your moon here means that people pretty much, what you see is pretty much what you get, because like I said, your emotions are right out there for people to see. So there is no hidden agenda with you. There is no, I don't know how to put this delicately, but there's no ulterior motive with you. Like, you may feel a certain way about somebody or a situation, and it's going to be very clearly revealed in your actions and your demeanor, because your first house is the house of self. So you are a very authentic person, is what I can say. So that can be a double-edged sword, right? Like, you are an authentic person, and that is very clearly revealed in the first house to other people around you. But you may not necessarily want to show everything to the world, like all your emotions and whatever you're feeling, because if somebody wants to manipulate somebody, it's very easy for them to push your buttons, because they'll be able to easily see what you're feeling. So in that sense, that's why I said it's a double-edged sword, because on one hand, you are expressing yourself in the most authentic way, because that's your moon sign, that's your core emotional personality. And then on the other hand, it's being placed in a house which is so very exposed. It's the first house, which is what people see when they meet you for the first time. And so it's all on display, so it's very difficult to hide. It's very difficult to run for cover, if I had to put it that way. It's a challenging aspect, but then one of the gifts and one of the lessons of having the moon in the first house is to be able to always live up to your truth, is to always be your most authentic self, because ultimately you realize that you cannot hide from your emotions, and you cannot put on a facade to hide these emotions from other people, because it's the first house we're talking about. And so ultimately you may learn to accept this challenge and convert it into a win, convert it into something that is really powerful, where you are what you say you are, so like I said, you are your most authentic self, and so you present yourself with a lot of integrity and a lot of purpose. So that is a very, very positive quality to have. And as I always feel like moon in the first house people, they pretty much wear their heart on their sleeve. So if you like someone, because the moon also has to do with emotions for somebody else. So if you like someone, it's going to be fairly evident, because you have it in the first house. So it'll be difficult for you to hide your feelings for somebody. If you have your moon in the first house. So that's a little bit about this placement. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. Drop in a comment in the comment box if you if this resonated with you, and if you do have a moon in first house, I'd love to hear your experiences. And I also wanted to mention that I'm taking bookings now for personal readings. So if you should like to get a personal reading done for your natal birth chart, if you want an interpretation done, I can do that for you. I do both tropical and sidereal. And then I also do relationship compatibility readings. So if you are in a relationship, or if you like someone, have a crush on someone, and want to know what it's going to be like with this person, I could do a relationship compatibility reading for you. And I also do tarot card readings. So you can ask me any question related to your life, and I would do a tarot card reading and tell you what the current situation is, what you can expect, what are the challenges, etc. So yeah, if you want to contact for any of these, drop me a message on Facebook or email. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/Venusianscorp, and email is astroluck111@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I've posted both the links in the description box, so you can easily contact me through any of these links and drop me a message. And that's it, guys. I'll definitely come back with another video on the moon in the second house, which is going to be the next one in the series of the moon signs. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, do subscribe to my channel. Click on the bell icon next to the subscribe button, so that whenever I post a new video, you get a notification in your inbox, and you can stay tuned to all of my latest updates. That's it for today, guys, and so I'll see you in my next video. Bye.